Every year, 29 September is celebrated as World Heart Day. It aims to prevent cardiovascular diseases that take the lives of 17.9 million people every year and accounts for 31% of all global deaths. Do you know how death occurs within minutes in case of a cardiac arrest? In cardiac arrest, the heart is unable to pump blood and death occurs within minutes if left untreated. Have you ever thought why blood is so important for our body? To get the answer of this question, we must know what exactly blood is and what is its role in our body. Let us find out. Blood is a bodily fluid which circulates through the human body in the blood vessels. It transports nutrients from the digestive system to the other parts of the body. It carries oxygen from the lungs and provides it to the cells of the body. It also transports waste products such as urea for removal from the body. Now, one may think that how does the blood carry so many substances? To know the answer, let us know about the various components of blood. Blood is a fluid having different types of cells suspended in it. The fluid part of the blood is known as plasma, and the cellular component comprises of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Have you ever pondered why blood appears red in color? Red blood cells or RBCs contain a red-colored pigment known as hemoglobin, which is responsible for imparting red color to the RBCs. The hemoglobin binds with oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin. It carries the oxygen to all parts of the body and finally delivers it to all the cells. White blood cells or WBCs play a role in the defense mechanisms of the body. They fight against germs which enter our body. You and your friends must have fallen many times while playing. Sometimes you get a minor injury, while other times blood starts oozing out from the injured area. But after a short while, bleeding stops and a dark red clot appears at the site of injury. Have you ever thought what is it? Here comes the role of the third cellular component of the blood, that is platelets. Platelets are responsible for blood clotting. In man, blood always flows in closed vessels and tubes throughout the body. This is called closed circulatory system. What do you think? Are all the blood vessels alike? No. Blood has to transport oxygen from the lungs to various parts of the body. Also, it has to pick carbon dioxide from various parts of the body and deliver it to the lungs for its removal from the body. Thus, on the basis of the transportation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, there are two types of blood vessels present in our body. These are arteries and veins. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart to body parts. The blood in arteries flows under high pressure, generated by the contraction of heart muscles. Therefore, the arteries have thick and elastic wall. Let us undertake an activity to understand the flow of blood through the arteries. Place the middle and index finger of your right hand on the inner side of your left wrist. Do you feel any thumping or throbbing movements? Do you have any idea what is really going on inside? Why do we feel a pulse at the wrist? It is due to the blood flowing in the arteries. Try to count the number of pulse beats per minute. Perform this activity with your classmates also. Number of beats per minute is called the pulse rate. In resting condition, pulse rate ranges from 72 to 80 beats per minute. Veins carry deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body towards the heart. The veins possess thin walls. As the blood flow is not under pressure in a vein, they possess valves. So, why do we need these walls? We need walls to prevent the backflow of blood. One very interesting fact worth discussing here is that the name of pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein is misnomer. Let us find out how. Pulmonary artery carries blood away from the heart, so it is called an artery. On the other hand, pulmonary vein carries blood toward the heart, so it is called a vein. Here it is important to note that pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood while pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. Arteries divide many times into smaller arteriole, which again subdivides finally to form the smallest vessels called capillaries. The networks of capillaries join to form venule, which further forms the veins. Now, you must be thinking, what do capillaries do? The capillaries are the site where the actual diffusion of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, etc. takes place. In normal course of circulation, the blood from the heart flows through artery to reach the capillary bed, and from there, through veins, it returns back to the heart. This extensive network supplies oxygen and nutrients to the cells, tissues, and organs, and removes carbon dioxide and other wastes, which are the byproducts of respiration. Are you familiar with this sound? What is it? This is the sound our heart makes as it beats. Heart is the organ that keeps us going. But why it keeps on beating continuously? Heart is a complex pumping organ which beats continuously for the transport of blood and other substances throughout the body. What do you think? Can any pump work for years without stopping? Yes, it seems impossible. But our heart works like a pump, non-stop and efficiently. Let us know about this energetic and amazing organ in detail. Place your palm a little to the left side of your chest cavity. Yes, here lies the heart. The heart is a hollow, muscular organ located in the chest cavity in between the two lungs. The lower tip of the heart is slightly tilted towards the left of the midline of the body. Make a fist by holding your fingers inwards on your palm. It represents the size of the heart. Yes, the heart is about the size of a fist. Our body contains two types of blood. One is rich in oxygen and the other is rich in carbon dioxide. What if both types mix with each other? In order to avoid this condition, human heart is divided into 4 chambers. The 2 upper chambers are called atria and the 2 lower chambers are called ventricles. These chambers are separated by a septum. In fact, this septum helps to avoid the mixing of both types of blood. Now, you must be thinking that which side of the heart will contain oxygen-rich blood and which side will contain carbon dioxide-rich blood? To get the answer of this query, we should understand how our circulatory system works. During blood circulation, carbon dioxide-rich blood from the whole body enters the right atrium of the heart. As the right atrium is filled with blood, it contracts. The tricuspid valve opens and the blood is pumped into the right ventricle of the heart. Now, as the right ventricle contracts, the pulmonary valve opens and the blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery, which carries blood to the lungs for oxygenation. The oxygenated blood from the lungs returns to the left atrium of the heart through the pulmonary veins. When the left atrium is filled with oxygenated blood, it contracts and mitral valve opens and blood is pumped into the left ventricle. Now left ventricle contracts and semilunar valves open. The oxygenated blood is pumped into the aorta, which distributes oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. The chambers of heart are made up of cardiac muscles. These muscles contract and relax in a specific sequence. One complete cycle of this rhythmic contraction followed by its relaxation constitutes a heartbeat. Heartbeat continues throughout the life. Have you ever seen a doctor placing an instrument on the chest of a person and carefully listening through it? Do you have any idea what is really going on inside? A doctor feels the heartbeat of the patient with the help of an instrument called stethoscope. The stethoscope is a device which amplifies the sound of the heartbeat. It is made up of a chest piece which carries a sensitive diaphragm. A long rubber tube which joins the chest piece to the earpieces. Now, let us undertake a simple activity to know more about heartbeat and pulse rate. Take a funnel of about 6 to 7 centimeters in diameter and fix a rubber tube of about 50 centimeters length tightly on its stem. Stretch a balloon on the mouth of the funnel and fix it tightly with the help of a rubber band. Place the mouth of the funnel on your chest, close to your heart, and keep the open end of the tube on one of your ears. Now, try to listen carefully. You can clearly hear the thumping sound of your heartbeat. Try to count your heartbeat in resting state and also after running for 5 to 10 minutes. Try this activity with your friends also. Do you have any idea how many times did your heart beats per minute? Number of beats per minute is called the pulse rate. The rhythmic beating of the chambers of the heart facilitates blood circulation and transport of various substances throughout the body. What do you think? Animals like sponges and hydra also possess blood? No, these animals use seawater for transportation. Water supplies food and oxygen as it enters their body, and it carries away wastes and carbon dioxide while leaving. One more important fact that is worth discussing is that who discovered the process of blood circulation? An English physician, William Harvey, was the first to discover the circulation of blood through the body. He proved that the heart acts as a pump which pushes the blood around the body through arteries and that the blood returns to the heart through the veins. Blood circulation is necessary to sustain the vital processes in multicellular organisms because this extensive network supplies the cells, tissues, and organs with oxygen and nutrients while removing carbon dioxide and waste, the byproducts of respiration. The circulatory system has evolved over time from simple diffusion through cells to a complex network of blood vessels that reach all parts of the human body.
The passage of blood throughout the body under the influence of the pressure exerted by the heart is called circulation. Vertebrates have closed type of circulation called as double blood circulation. Double circulation is a process during which blood passes twice through the heart during one complete cycle, ensuring that the organs get oxygen-rich blood at a faster rate as it is being pumped by the heart. This type of circulation is more prominent in birds and mammals, as in them the heart is completely divided into 4 chambers. The movement of blood in an organism is divided into 2 parts: systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation involves the movement of deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery, which then carries blood to the lungs for oxygenation. From the lungs, the oxygenated blood is carried by the 2 pulmonary veins arising from each lung into the left atrium. Systemic circulation involves the movement of oxygenated blood from the left ventricle of the heart to the aorta. It is then carried by blood through a network of arteries, arterioles, and capillaries to the tissue. From the tissues, the deoxygenated blood is collected by the venules, veins, and vena cava and is then emptied into the right auricle. A double blood circulation plus powerful four-chambered heart provides both the required force to pump a large volume of heated blood and a separate pulmonary circulation that adds plenty of oxygen to the blood. Hence, in double circulation, blood has to pass alternatively through the lungs and the tissues.